Hi students! Congratulations on starting your first PLATO course in Edmentum. My name's Mrs. Prosser, and I'm going to give you a little walkthrough of how to get started with your PLATO courses. First, your teacher should have given you a sheet like this. This has your website for login, so whether you're Mission View, Desert Sands, or Assurance, go ahead and go to one of those websites and log in with the username and password that your teacher gave you. It will ask you to create a new password when you first log in. Make sure you write that down so you don't lose it. Once you sign in, you'll get to a page that looks like this. To access PLATO's courses, you need to go here to Online Curriculum Connect. Click there, and you'll see a link to PLATO. Go ahead and click on that, and it will open up a page and automatically sign you into PLATO. Once you click that link, you'll get to a page that looks like this. This is your student dashboard in PLATO Edmentum. This is Harry Potter's dashboard, and we can see he's taking two classes, Health A and Computing for College and Careers A. He has not started Health A, you can see he's made no progress, but he has started Computing for College and Careers because he is 8% through. And we can also see that he was partially through this Computers and Careers activity because it says continue here. If you weren't in the middle of an activity when you left, it will just say select new activity. So let's go ahead and take a look at these activities by going to all activities. This will list all the different activities for the course. So you'll see it's organized into modules. Harry Potter here is in the middle of module 1. And we can see he's completed this, and this says 1 of 2. If I click on this, I can see that he completed the tutorial, but not the mastery test. That's because it's blank. So to give you a little bit of an idea of what courses are broken down into, you have tutorials, which are basically the lessons, and then you have mastery tests, which are quizzes that follow the lessons. So after you finish a tutorial, you'll always have a mastery test or a quiz afterwards to see if you really understood the material in that lesson. Now, you'll also notice there'll be unit activities sometimes. Those are projects that you turn in. And then at the end of a module, you'll always find a post-test. Post-tests are basically just the final test of that credit. Now in Harry Potter's case here, you'll notice he took the pre-test. The pre-test is important because sometimes it will exempt you from certain lessons that you have already shown on the pre-test that you understood, which is great. It means less work for you. In Harry Potter's case, he took the pretest, and you'll see these little E's. That means that he does not need to take those lessons. So here, if I click on computer software, we'll see these have little E's next to them, and that means that he's exempted. You can, so if you want, you can still take those lessons and quizzes, but you don't have to. The E means you've already shown that you know that material. So my suggestion is don't waste your time taking those lessons and quizzes unless you fail the post-test and you need to go back and review. But you know, that's a huge benefit of the Edmentum courses is you can test out of certain lessons that you already know, which makes some of these courses a lot faster. Now, what does a lesson look like? Well, let's take a look at this Computers and Careers lesson. So if I click here, I can see that Harry already started this. He's partially through this tutorial. If I click on that, it'll open up the tutorial, and you can see what a tutorial looks like. Up here, you'll see your navigation. So there's arrows to kind of click through the different pages of the tutorial. You'll find that sometimes there's videos, there's audio. You can have it read the different pages to you, which is nice. This is a video introduction, I believe. There we go. And one nice thing is on any page, you'll see this toolbar on the side. The first option takes you to the table of contents, and this shows you all the different activities for this lesson. You'll see that there are lesson activities sometimes within a lesson, And the lesson activities are writing assignments. It's important that you do those because those are going to be graded by your teacher. Other things here, there is a note-taking pane. You can take notes there. There's also a resources folder here, and there'll be additional resources in this folder if you'd like to learn more. There's a dictionary tool. So if you would like to copy a word, let's say technical, paste it over here and click Define. It will look it up and give you some information. You can also have it read it to you.
Adjective, connected with machines and science, etc.
Other options, you can change the narration tools. You can actually turn slide narration on so it'll automatically read slides to you. You can translate. So if you need this translated, you can copy it, paste it, and translate. And it will give you a translation of the page. So if you're a Spanish speaker or your native language is a different language, you could go ahead and copy and paste things in and have it translate. And lastly, there is a highlighting option. So you can select text and highlight in different colors. Another handy tool. Now I've skipped ahead for a minute to show you a lesson activity. Remember, these are the activities where you actually have to write and submit an answer. Make sure you read the directions, type in your answers. You can also add images or tables, and make sure you submit when you're done. That will submit it so your teacher can look at it. And there's also a self-evaluation section. Make sure you finish that as well before you move on. Now, let's say that you have to stop. You're not done, but you need to stop and save your progress. Make sure you go down here to save and exit. Don't just close the window. That's really important. Go to save and exit, and it will save your progress. It will take you back to this page, and while we're here, I'm going to show you a quiz. So if I click on computer hardware here, I can see Harry finished the tutorial, but he needs to take this mastery test. And remember, those are quizzes. So if I click on that, it will open up the quiz, and the key is, it is going to say at the beginning, this mastery test has 5 questions. The quizzes will always have 5 questions. The goal is to get 4 correct. That shows that you've learned the material. But you can get 3 correct and still pass, because 3 out of 5 is a 60%, which is a D. So that is technically passing. The goal, though, is to get 4, because that really shows you've learned the material more. When you're done, it will show you your score. Once you're done, you'll get a page that looks like this. It will show you the number of correct answers and incorrect answers. Now, you need to get 3 correct to pass. 4 correct is great, but 3 correct is passing, and here we got 2 correct. So 2 correct means you're going to need to retake that mastery test quiz. So let's go back and take a look at what our page of progress looks like now. If I go back to computer hardware, we'll see this activity is now locked. I will need to email my teacher or talk to my teacher in person to have them unlock this. There's a few more things you should know before you get started. Mastery tests, the quizzes, they are open notes. So if you want to take notes, you can, and you can use them on your mastery tests. Now, notes are not required and they're not graded, but you're welcome to use them. When you get to the post-test, the final test, you are not allowed to use your notes on that test. That test will probably be locked because you have to come and take that test in person with your teacher at school. Just like quizzes, post-tests require that you get 60% to pass. So make sure you're getting 60% on that post-test in order to progress. Technically, at any time, you could move on to the next module, but you should try to focus on one module at a time, because until you finish a module, you don't get any credit. When you're done working on the course for the day, go ahead and scroll to the top and make sure you click Sign Out. That way you know no one else will access your account. and it will bring you to a login screen that looks like this. Now, the last thing you should be aware of with Edmentum courses are the credit cover sheets, and you'll get one of these for each credit that you're working on in PLATO Edmentum. This one is for Health A. They're going to look a little different depending on the credit you're working on. This sheet lists all the activities that are going to be graded. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 mastery test quizzes that are going to be taken for this credit. There's a post-test, and remember that needs to be taken at school. And there's also 2 lesson activities. Remember, those are the short writing assignments that you'll have inside the tutorial lessons. You can use this sheet to keep track of your progress, and your teacher will use it to grade you and give you a final grade for the credit. There are some general grading policies up here. 60% is required for tests, and you do need to get 70% on teacher-graded assignments, which would be lesson activities, unit activities, and discussions. Those are just other things that you may run into depending on the course you're taking in PLATO Edmentum. Now, when you're done, when you've filled this out, your teacher's graded your activities, you are all done. It's very exciting. It means you're going to get that credit. Before you do, you need to flip to the back page and finish the post-credit reflection. Once you're done with this, you submit this to your teacher, and your teacher will be putting in your final grade, so you can get that credit. And with that, we've reached the end of the tutorial. Thank you for watching, good luck with your courses, and remember, you can always reach out to your teachers for extra support if you ever get stuck.